Hi and welcome everybody. My name is Annie Woods and I am the host of Thriving Thursday. This is an online show that is usually just reserved for my very private group, Untamed Woman. But today our guest is so awesome that I had to open it up for everybody to see. Her name is Luci Lampe and she is the sexy mama. And when I say this, I say it not only because she says it, but because I believe it. When I started connecting with Lucy's message, it was so powerful to me because she is the embodiment of authenticity. She's a woman that does the work to help other women really connect to who they are. And I love that about her. And she does that through her Sexy Mama movement, through Sexy Life. And she really has made it a focus in her life to help women feel sexy. And it's not only about whatever media has fed us that sexy is, it's really about, what's the core of your sexiness? And I can't wait to talk to her about it because I've lived my life believing that I was not sexy. And just a few minutes ago, she tried to convince me I haven't. So let's see if she finishes that by the end of this interview. So hi, Lucy. Welcome.
Hey, Annie. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to see your beautiful face.
Thank you. I did not put makeup on. I'm trying to embody that authenticity.
I love it.
So let's just jump right in, Lucy. What the hell is sexy?
Oh, I love it. And you're so passionate about when you're asking. You're like, what the hell is this? All right. So first of all, do we have permission to uncensor ourselves in this conversation?
Go for
okay.
It.
I don't know when it's going to come up, but I feel that it's going to come up. So, just FYI. So sexy is such an interesting, powerful concept, right? When I grew up, not like it wasn't okay to talk about sex. It wasn't okay to try to be sexy or to think of myself as a sexy being, and not just in the sexual way, but what I've learned. Actually, in college, there was this friend who called everything sexy. Instead of the word cool, it was a little over the top, but he was like, "Oh yeah, how was humanities class? It was so sexy." I'm like, oh, I don't think that doesn't feel right to me. I don't think humanities class is sexy, but it kind of got me more into that idea of like, oh, this isn't a bad word. Like it's not like something that I'm not allowed to think about or embody. And what I realized after having kids is when I started to feel sexy.
Okay, let me stop you right there. People, she has 4 kids.
Yes, I have 4 kids.
Okay. So after you started having kids, go on.
Yeah, that's when I started having kids young too. I was 20 when I got married. We're still married. We just had our 11-year anniversary, and now we have 4 kids. So what sexy means, what I believe it really means, is beyond the sex appeal. It embodies that also, but it's owning who you really are, knowing who you are, loving who you are, and authentically, courageously being that person. When you see someone, man or a woman, walk into a room and they're just magnetic, it's like they don't like I'm fucking here, like this is me, and I don't care. You don't have to like me, not in a rude, abrasive way, but like I'm okay with me, and I bring value, and I know what I stand for. Like that is sexy. So, as you know, as a coach as well, it takes so many different layers to get people to a place where they can really own that. But we just work in little incremental steps, So sexy is not about our size, our weight, makeup, hair, any of that. It's who we are. It's how we show up. And along the lines of what you're doing, it's living authentically.
Awesome. I love it. I love the fact that you bring it from the point of it can be really whatever you want. That's what I'm here. Like sexy, as long as it's you, it's sexy.
Yeah.
So that
you have to show up in a slinky red dress. you know?
That's great news. Because I just
But if that's you, do it.
Because I just wrote an essay about not liking to shave. So if that's sexy, I'm all about it. Awesome. Okay, so just take it a little bit further. So if that is sexy, why do so many women don't feel sexy? Where do they lose that in their lives?
Well, from what I see, a lot of it comes back to limitations, expectations, and not usually from the outside sources, because we know there are a lot of societal, cultural, whatever different contexts that we're in, expectations of us, but ultimately they're self-imposed. It's we see ourselves a certain way, and we're in a box. So while a lot of it comes down to being willing to just simply acknowledge that, okay, I'm in this box. This is the box that I've been living in. And now what am I going to do about it? And the thing that I stay constantly curious about for myself is, what box am I in right now? Because I might be stepping out and living outside the box in this context of my life, but where else am I still in a box? In the bedroom, or in, or when I'm working with a certain kind of client, or when I'm in a group of moms. Sometimes we go from a small box to a bigger box, and we're still in a box. And if that's what it takes to keep us in a container so that we can explore and still feel kind of safe, then that's okay. But we just to really honest to God, like, be honest with ourselves about where we're at, because that's the only way that we can make real progress. Does that make sense?
Yes, what I'm hearing you say is that it's like we lose our sexy when we lose our self-awareness, right?
Yes.
So when we're not honest with ourselves. And I remember talking to actually the coach Lisa Stedman yesterday about boxes in a way. So I moved from the Dominican Republic thirsty because it is a chauvinistic country. Those people don't understand me. My English is better than my Spanish, or whatever the hell stupid story I told myself. And then I come to the US, and there's a whole different a whole array of labels. So now I'm an immigrant, and now I'm this, and now I'm that, and I'm like, oh God damn it, it never stops.
It doesn't.
But that level of awareness that you're talking about really has been what's propelled me. When do you say you found that awareness for yourself? Like, when did it really start for you? So you said, like, when you started having kids, it started shifting for you. When was your aha moment?
So there have been milestones along the way. One of the first big milestones was when I became a mother, because I realized, oh my God, this is a whole different part of my identity now that I've got to get comfortable. Like, who is this woman? What does she want? Who am I? And how do I want to show up as a mother? I didn't really think about those things before becoming a mom, and I think a lot of us, we don't. We just go with the flow, and then we're either jolted to make a change out of pain. That's usually the case. And even then, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to do anything about it, but we're more likely to. So for me, it really motivated me to begin to uncover all these layers in myself was pain. We've been through a lot of different things. We've, as a couple, my husband Ryan and I have overcome, we've been through deployment, depression, bankruptcy. There's a lot of shit that happens in 11 years. And in the middle of that, we're having these 4 little people, and figuring out who we are as individuals, as a couple, as parents. One of the biggest turning points for me was in 2012, when I decided to step away from doing, because I realized that was my pattern. I would throw myself into activities so that I didn't really have to face the pain that had been in there since my parents' divorce, since some traumatic things happened, since my father's attempted suicide. Like, all of that, I put it in this little box, and again, the boxes, they're really handy metaphor, and threw myself into achievement and activity. So that was really where I made the intentional decision to slow down and face, what was inside, and see who I really am. So if anything, I would say that was the biggest turning point for me. And from that came all of these other deep seasons of growth, studying, mastery, focus on things that would really enrich my life in the long run, not just for a quick fix. So I've also now owned that part of my side of myself that loves to just have fun and no agenda, just enjoy, because I was doing so much, but I wasn't really getting joy out of it back then. So not only was I not accomplishing what I really wanted to accomplish, I wasn't really fully enjoying it either. So slowing down allowed me to get both of those things into my life. So yeah, I think 2000, so 6 years ago, that's really when all of these shifts started to happen.
Awesome. And the good thing is that it happened to you, and when you work with your clients, it doesn't take them 6 years.
Yes, exactly.
So, what do you do to help your clients? How, like, if somebody comes to you depleted and they feel like crap, they also have 4 kids, which I find completely amazing. And they feel like however they feel, just describe to me maybe what are the first few steps that you do with your clients to help them through that feeling of self-doubt and whatnot into their sexy.
Yeah. Whew. So everything that I do is built on their vision, and all of my clients have visions that are bigger, like they're big. They seem bigger than life. They feel like maybe impossible. And if they're anything like me, if they've been covering up with activity. But I heard the saying the other day that is so brilliant. Being busy is lazy. I was like, oh shit, that's so. Being busy is lazy because we're avoiding what really matters. We're avoiding the big stuff, the big questions. And I didn't want to wait until 50 to begin to like rethink all of these things, you know? So what we do is we look at their vision. What is it that they really want? What's the goal behind the goal? And you know, what's missing? What's getting in the way? So then we look at also things like, you know, values, how to chunk things down into sizable milestones, and not lose sight of who they are along the way, because it's never really about the goal. As I know you're well familiar, it's not about the goal. It's like you really do, as cheesy as it sounds, it's the journey, not the destination. So we focus on how can you, who do you need to be, and how can you be that, so that then you can do and have. Yeah, and then otherwise it's just a matter of filling in more little gaps along the way, limiting beliefs, maybe changing the stories around that are going on in their heads. I love one of my favorite tools to use is something called the Enneagram. And have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. I am not a master at it, but I've heard of it and I love it. One of my mentors is use it for her emotional intelligence training.
It's one of the most powerful emotional intelligence tools that I have encountered. And it's so insightful. That was one of the things that, looking back at my type of 7, I can look back at my pattern in life.
I think that's mine too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you might have a little of that in you too.
And I think I have a 1 as well. Whatever the judgmental one is.
Oh, that's 1.
I'm there. I'm working through it. I'm working.
You're the reformer. No. It's even that is like the judgmental one. Like we can all be judgmental, but it's funny because we, again, labels, right? We're like, oh, I'm the enthusiastic one, or I'm the judgmental one. So just to notice like what boxes we tend to put ourselves in. So what I love about the Enneagram is that it's not about putting us in a box. It's like, this is the framework that you're working with naturally. And then here's how you can grow. Here's how you can integrate more of the other, you know, pieces of the other types into you. But it's not about changing your type. It's being the healthiest that you can be.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of self-awareness in that.
Love it. Love it. And yes, when I encountered that at the Enneagram for the first time in my life, I was like, yep, that's me. And that was like 5 years ago. And if I look back at how much I've grown and
Yeah.
how that might still be me, but the actions that I take are so different. So I'm so glad that you use that
Yes.
tool with your clients, and that you can give them that insight into their emotions, because not everybody has it. And it's so great when you have that one thing that you can refer back to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is great. Okay, well, we're almost about to finish, but there's one thing that Luci wants to share with us. She has something that has been cooking that actually started 2 days ago. If I remember,
Yes.
it
Yes.
started
Today's
two
day
days
3.
ago, but you still have time to hop on the bandwagon and start your year like it's never begun before. So, Luci, take it away. Let us know what's going on.
Woo! Okay, so this is the 30-day Fresh Beginnings Challenge, and in the past, I've done fitness challenges, nutrition challenges to get our body, but without this in line with where we want to go, the rest is really it's really not going to follow. So this year, it's a mindset challenge, and each day we're doing 3 big action steps. I'm not going to totally give you all the details, but basically it involves feeding your mind, taking some pause time, some reflection time, journaling, reading every day, small, consistent chunks throughout the 30 days. And we're building up. So we're starting in little small increments and then increasing the time every day.
Awesome.
And it's already been amazing. We're just on day 3. We're literally talking 5 minutes, 5 minutes a
Great.
day times 3 for 3 different things. And it's incredible how much of a difference these little things make in our lives, and then that will set the tone for the rest of the year.
Awesome. Simple is sexy, people. Simple is
Yes.
sexy. I
Yes.
love that you're doing this, and especially I love the length of it, because it really takes some time to make things habits. There's no magical formula. You really have to cultivate and be consistent in what you're doing. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for creating that. Thank you so much for letting us know, because you can still, I know it started 3 days ago, or it's on day 3, but you can still hop on and you can still start changing your life this year by doing this wonderful, wonderful challenge. Well,
Yes.
yes, so excited. Okay, Luci, well, thank you so much for coming and sharing your sexy vibe with us, and letting us know what you've done to really cultivate that sense of authenticity and that sense of awareness. Because that's what I got from today. I got that it really, in order to feel sexy, you have to feel, you have to be where you are and work with what you have and
Yeah.
own it. So thank you so much for bringing those little golden nuggets here, because I know that everyone that's watching is really going to feel a little different about themselves. I know I am feeling a little different about myself and about the boxes that I've put myself into. So
Yeah.
thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. And yeah, if everybody can just, look in the mirror, no makeup, whatever your situation is, and just look at yourself and know that you are sexy. So then you have what sexy people have. You get to do what sexy people do because you are fucking sexy. Right?
Yes.
Own it.
Okay. Own it. Well,
Thank
thank you
you.
everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.